Hello, this is Brett from Survival Comms, and as promised, we're going to reassemble our Spetsnaz Survival Machete / Pilot Survival Tool that I parkerized in my last video, when I gave a brief summary of parkerizing. There's several YouTube videos, and there's one in particular that I'm going to put in the credits at the end that is absolutely fantastic and very in detail about the whole parkerizing process. And it's what actually taught me how to do it. So I'm going to put that on the end for the credits to make sure that if you guys are interested in doing this metal refinishing yourself, that you can do it that way. What I do when I park, when I get done, is I soak it in oil for a few days, and I usually use used motor oil, and it comes out pretty nice finish wise. And as you can still see even after sandblasting, all the numbers are good, and the markings, including this serial number right here, still good. So there's still some pitting. Like I said, this thing was a mess when I first picked it up. It had a lot of rust on it, so that's why I decided to refinish it, and it is all good. The only part of it that didn't come out the way I would have liked it to have come out is the hilt here, cross guard. You can see it didn't quite take right there, and I don't know if I didn't sandblast this well enough, but I'm going to go ahead and roll with it. You see that came out really good there, the Allen screwdriver. Very happy with that. And I know I mentioned in my first video that this was steel, and I actually corrected that in the text, but this is actually aluminum. And of course you can't parkerize aluminum, you can anodize it. And this one here is in pretty good shape, and plus it's covered by the handle, so it's really not that big of a deal. I am replacing the factory nut, lock nut, and washer with a washer and a lock nut. Generally what I do is I'll put a dab of super glue on the lock nut and washer, and that makes it a lot easier to put this kind of thing back together again. So if you've ever done that before, it makes it a lot easier when you're trying to place a nut on a post inside of a tube, basically, which is what you're doing inside of here. Trying to line up a washer inside of that is not very easy. You can see right here, the O-ring here has seen better days, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the O-ring with one that I had for the little compartment on the base of the handle. So it'll be jammed up jelly tight. And let's go ahead and get cracking putting this thing back together again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little piece of leather here because I want to protect my hand from this saw edge, because that saw is very sharp on this thing. You can insert that on first. Take your handle, drop your tube on, insert it into here, ensuring that it's all the way down, taking your nut and washer, putting on your 10mm socket, slide that puppy in there, and let's get cracking. Alright, I cinch this thing down as best I can by hand. Then I'll move it to the vise using that leather to protect the metal itself. That's pretty doggone tight right there, but we're going to go ahead and put it in the vise just for good measure. I told you it's pretty tight. I'm not going to go to town and snap that sucker off, but I'll torque that thing down as best I can and roll with it. So after reinstalling that there, you can see we're back to our normal configuration. Go ahead and slap our awl back on there. Cedar cap, see how that does. And that's looking good right there. O-ring sealing up pretty decent. Not moving around. And there we have it. For everybody there in YouTube land wants to see that. Came out pretty doggone good, especially as beat up as it was. Like I said, these things were so cheap back when they were really prevalent. They were $20, $30. And now, you know, $200, $300 seems to be the norm on auction sites if you find one. So I was glad I got it, and it's going to be a neat addition to my collection. I don't think I'm going to beat it up too bad playing with it. I am going to sharpen it up somewhat because sandblasting it did remove most of my edge. But I'm pretty doggone happy with it. I really am. It looks good. Very neat piece of history. Well, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you and give credit to the various places I've received information from. Again, a really cool book is this one, believe it or not, the MiG Pilot Survival. You can pick this up on Amazon, and like I said, it has got so much really cool stuff in it that it's completely esoteric. It's got everything from their space program to their high altitude jets, to helicopters. I mean, it's a really good book, and it actually has their little pilot survival book in the back of it that's been translated to English, which I don't know if you ever tried to translate Russian before, but I did that years ago, and it's challenging to say the least, especially for someone that has no real linguistic training like myself. But I'm going to go ahead and run my credits on this right here, and check out these other videos. I think you'll like it. Thank you for watching.